Hey there, Brett here with Quarter Properties, your Myrtle Beach area real estate expert. And today I want to hop on here and just chat with you a little bit about these falling interest rates and what does that mean for the real estate market? Is that good news or bad news? Well, first thing you got to understand just in general is interest rates and why they go up or down. Typically, our Federal Reserve is kind of monitoring two main things. They're monitoring our inflation, so that's the cost of our goods going up or down in price, and they're monitoring employment. They're trying to maintain a certain level of employment, the unemployment rate, trying to keep it down to a certain number. So they've got targets for each of those, the unemployment rate and just the overall inflation. You probably, if you pay attention to interest rates, you pay attention to the housing market, you probably hear a lot of times the Fed wants their target rate at 2% inflation. So what does it mean for you as a buyer if rates do drop? So that's what's kind of going on right now. We've seen the rates coming down. They're high back in October 23. They hit up around 7.8% was the high. And now we're seeing the rates come down some. So what are the main reasons why those rates are coming down? And is that good or bad for you? Well, when you looked at those high rates, those are really driven by the inflation factor, not the unemployment rate necessarily, because the unemployment rate was pretty low in 23 and 24 respectively, but inflation was out of control. The government printed a lot of money, threw it into an already hot economy, and that sent interest rates heading upwards. Well, now they're coming down. Why? Well, unemployment rates are looking a little bit iffy. As the economy kind of slows down some, which is the target of the Fed, unfortunately, when they raise those rates, they're trying to get the economy to slow down. So this is the result. When the economy slows down, unfortunately, it does force some people out of work. Now, does that have an impact on you? Well, hopefully your job is secure and it hasn't had any big impact on you, but how does it impact your ability to buy a home? Well, let's just say in general, when rates were at 7.5%, let's say you were looking at a $300,000 home. Let's say you were going to put down 20%. Okay, so you're going to put a $60,000 down payment, but your rate was going to be 7.5%. Well, that means your monthly payment for principal and interest was around $1,678 a month. Okay, just principal and interest. That doesn't include your taxes and your insurance. Okay, well, if rates come down 2% like they have, so rates are getting down, you can buy down a rate around 5.75% or so, but let's just for even numbers, let's say it's you were able to get 5.5%, which we are seeing that kind of rate at a lot of these builders. We're seeing sub 5 is offered rates for some of these builders. But just to make the math easy, let's say the rate, the APR you're able to get, your annual percentage rate is 5.5%. Well, if you were able to get 5.5 on that $300,000 house and you were putting 20% down, then your monthly payment will be $1,362 a month. So the difference between those two is going to be $315 a month. So that really does, that's huge. Makes the house way more affordable. Or you can be looking at the other side of it and say, well, you know what? Well, I can afford my debt to income ratio. I can afford the full $1,678 a month in principal and interest payments. Well, instead of you buying a $300,000 house, well, now you can afford to buy a $370,000 house. So this is really big. What this does for the overall real estate market is, there are some folks that, they may have been wanting to buy, but their debt to income ratio wouldn't quite allow it. Now they're able to get that $300,000 house because that payment of only $1,362, that moves them into an acceptable debt to income ratio, and they're able to get their loan. So they're able to buy. That's really important. A lot of first time home buyers like that, a lot of retiree home buyers like that. But then that next group is those folks that are maybe they have a home already, but they're having a new baby on the way. They need to upgrade for some reason. This is really going to make that next home more affordable. with interest rates being about 2% lower. So now the key thing here with these interest rates, if you'll see here, I'm going to show you some interest rates here on the screen. These interest rates, the APR, understand please that you're going to have to buy down that rate some to get that APR, okay? There will be some prepaid interest on there, what's called points, okay, mortgage points, to get that APR. Up front, typically 1% of your loan amount. So in this situation, your loan amount was going to be $240,000. So $2,400 up front and closing costs will get you about a 0.25% reduction in your interest rate. So these rates you see right here, you can kind of see if you look close what the buy down points are on these kind of rates you're seeing on the screen to be able to get you that APR. So a lot of the APRs that you see advertised out there, please know you're going to have some origination fee and some buy down, some mortgage points to be able to get that rate. So what does that mean for you? Well, if you're in a steady job and your job is secure, then this is great news for you. Or if you're on a pension, secure income like that, you're living on IRA, retirement funds that are steady, this is great news for you because the houses are getting much more affordable. And usually you want to get in on the early end of this because right now there is still a good amount of supply out there. So if you're able to get in now with a good solid price point on your home and achieve a good interest rate, a good APR, then you're able to kill two birds with one stone. So if you like this information, if you'll please go ahead and click the like button there. If you want to have more interesting tips and updates on the Myrtle Beach area housing market or just the real estate market in general, please go ahead and subscribe right there. In the details, we've got some ways that we can help you today. We've got a link there where you can, shop the latest list of available homes in the Myrtle Beach area. Easiest way to do that. You've got that link there in the description. We've got a link there if you want to keep up with your home value, or if you want to chat with me. My email address is there and my phone number, and we'll be talking to you soon.